Hi, hello! My name is Arie, and welcome to Fox Dots. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about my unbridled, my undying love for Chicken Little. That's right, the 2005 CGI Walt Disney classic that everybody fucking hates. And I don't know why. I actually really don't understand why a lot of people don't like Chicken Little. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. uh, I've definitely stated here and there I am not a big movie watcher. I only really watch movies if it's something I'm super interested in, or if if my friends or my grandma is like, "Let's watch a movie," and I'm like, "Okay, sure thing." But Chicken Little somehow appeared in my house one day when I was baby, and I watched it, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was awesome. And I don't just love Chicken Little for nostalgia purposes. I rewatched the movie very recently, a few weeks ago from this recording, with my partner, and I had a wonderful time. I was busting a gut everywhere. It was really, really funny, and it was a great time. And my partner also enjoyed it quite a bit too. So that really led me to think, oh man, I really, really like this movie. And I know, just from general internet discourse, so many people hate it. So here I am, stepping up to the plate, defending Chicken Little's honor. Here we go. So, let me give a basic plot synopsis. I'll try to scurry around here, but I want to kind of give everybody the general idea. So, yeah. Chicken Little starts off with our main character, Chicken Little. He's ringing the bell, ring a ding, a shrilling a ping, right? Uh, he is warning the town that the sky is falling because something that looked like a piece of the sky fell on his head. The town uproars and panics and is like, "Oh man, how did we get in the world?" And long story short, the all surround Chicken Little. He's trying to explain himself, but then an acorn falls on his head, and the people are like, "Oh, what was it? Was that it? Was that the sky?" And his dad, his name is Buck Cluck, by the way, awesome name, big fan. Um, he steps in and tries to call the whole thing off, and he just doesn't want his son to be embarrassed on national television because this is also being televised and canon. And so Chicken Little is not having this. He's like, "Come on, Dad, you gotta believe in me. You gotta believe." And then Buck Cluck is like, "No," but like lovingly no. But still, it's very disheartening for Chicken Little. So 1 year later, yeah, the story just skips ahead like that. 1 year later, um, there is a whole movie making fun of Chicken Little. There's a billboard for it and such, and Chicken Little is just trying to get through life and just trying to take it day by day. Fair enough, you know. I mean, if I was infamously known for something silly or bad, and I'm made fun of just infinitely, I would also just try to take life one day at a time. Our protagonist here isn't super overwhelmingly like giddy or positive. He does have that positive edge to him. I don't know if edge is the right word, but the positive like tinge, the feel, the vibe. But he's also realistic and have moments of sadness and is gets down depending on what happens to him. So I like that realism. I like that feel of we still have a somewhat plucky and fun to watch protagonist, but he also exudes real emotions. It's not just all right, no matter what happens, I'm happy, because that is super unrealistic. Nobody is like that. All right, nobody at all. So it's just nice to see, just to kind of add on to his character as well. So then we're shown a montage of Chicken Little just trying to traverse his way to school. He misses the school bus, has to go through silly, wacky shenanigans to get through. I'm a big fan of slapstick. If slapstick is not done well in a movie or what have you, IRL, huh? IRL or not, I just kind of feel like if it's not silly, if it doesn't like make me smile or make me feel anything, then it's not good. I would know what good slapstick looks like. I love classic original Tom and Jerry. It's some of my favorite animated anything of all time. So I gotta say, Chicken Little slapstick when it's around, it's pretty good. It's pretty all right. I enjoy it quite a bit. I thought it was humorous. So good job on the slapstick department, despite this being Walt Disney's one of, if not the first CGI movie that they did, which is also pretty impressive. I think they did a good job, and I wouldn't say the movie graphically holds up, but it's still more than good. It's good for what it is. There's some like weird like animations like here and there. Like there is definitely times where you could tell the animators were crunching for time or they didn't fully know how to optimize it, which makes sense, you know. Again, first time for this studio to try to, or one of the first times, if not the first time, the studio is trying to get used to this style of animation. Despite that, they did a really good job for the most part, and you know I could excuse the errors because in retrospect it makes it hilarious, uh, in a like point and laugh at it kind of way. So if that kind of thing bothers you, that's totally understandable. But for me, it's more silly than anything, so I fairly enjoy that. In any case, Chicken Little makes his way to his school, and we now meet his friends. So there is the ugly duckling. Her name is Abby. She's ugly, but she's nice. She's a nice, not foil, but companion to Chicken Little. Very nice. Definitely the reasonable one, but also has a silly, sarcastic edge to her too. Then there's Runt, humongous, big pig guy. All right, he's a very silly pig guy. He's great, wonderful man. And then there's also Fish Out of Water. He's a fish. He has like a helmet that has water in it, so he can fucking breathe. Right. He also cannot communicate verbally. You can bloop and blop around, but he's definitely a more of a body movement kind of guy. And I like that. It's not like, oh, the funny animal character, because all these guys are damn animals, okay? This is a furry world or the furry world. Wow. But it's a non talkative, sorry, non verbal character done fairly well. I quite enjoy Fish Out of Water as well. So all of our main cast here is quite fun, and we see Chicken Little continue to struggle traversing through school, both physically and also kind of emotionally as well, because there's this one fox girl. I think her name is Foxy Loxy. Here, let me look that up real quick. Yeah, I was right. So her name is Foxy Loxy, and she's basically the like mini antagonist of the first chunk of the movie, just kind of making fun of Chicken Little, just trying to steal his thunder kind of deal. She's not really like the most important character in the movie, but she has interesting, interactions with our main characters, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the more down to earth, relaxed feel before the sci-fi elements kick in. It's kind of an interesting divide of the first half of the movie is just kind of down to earth, mostly silly antics of this middle school chicken guy, chicken boy, chicken man, and then the other half is, well, the world is ending. Wonderful. But these two halves of the movie don't feel disconnected. The first half is needed to kind of set up the character arcs and how characters feel about each other and so on and so forth. Then that feeds into that second half where once the sci-fi things get integrated, then we start to re-explore some things that were opened up in the first half. It's just nice. It all comes together fairly seamlessly, and I appreciate that. We're not there yet, but I just started talking about the two halves of the movie, and I figured I might as well I'll plop this thought on here. In any case, Chicken Little gets in trouble for something that wasn't his fault, because of the bullying and so on and so forth. and his father is disappointed in. No, I wouldn't say disappointed in Chicken Little, but kind of upset, but not angry or disappointed at Chicken Little. He's just sad with the circumstances because he doesn't really know how to help or doesn't know what to do, doesn't know how to really communicate very well with his son. So, Mr. Buckington over here, he just kind of is sad about it after talking to, I would assume is either the principal or a counselor. I don't remember exactly, but some school staff member after school about what happened that day with Chicken Little, with the like him getting bullied and then that little minor incident happening. So, uh, Chicken Little overhears the conversation and hears that Buck was the school's star player for baseball. And I'm sure Chicken Little knew that before, like it's just kind of hard to ignore that kind of thing. But he decides to be inspired and wants to try out baseball. So when Chicken Little and Buck are in the car, Chicken Little says, "Hey, I want to try to do baseball because you were awesome at it, and I want to be just like you, Dad." And Buck has no confidence in his son whatsoever. He's like, "Oh, well, there's other things you could do, like chess. Oh, chess is pretty cool. You move the piece around. Fuck shit." You know? Real dialogue, by the way. That actually happened in the movie. I can tell you. However, Chicken Little continues to insist he wants to do baseball. He wants to be just like his dad. And Buck eventually caves in, but also tells him, "Don't get your hopes high, son." He's trying to kind of be cold turkey to an extent with his son. Uh, and it also is shown soon after this dialogue exchange, I believe, or at least somewhere, in the first half of the movie, fairly early on, that he struggles, with having a good communication and relationship with his son because his wife slash Chicken Little's mother is dead, and he just can't do this parenting thing on your own. And I totally understand that. Being a single parent is not easy at all, and I mean, being a parent in general is hard, but doing it kind of on your own with no help, uh, or little to no help in general, is it's hard. And yeah, it really seems like his wife was kind of the heart of the family, and whatever happened to his wife, that's unfortunate, and he just kind of have to deal with trying to raise their son on his own. And it doesn't really seem like he gets external help either. He just kind of does his own thing, and if it seems okay enough on the outside, he just kind of lets it be. I don't think that makes him a bad person, but it makes him a bad parent. It's kind of a weird thing here. Just because you are bad at parenting doesn't mean that you can't get better, but that doesn't excuse your bad parenting either. It's kind of like once you realize how to properly take care of your child, um, then you kind of have to make up for any mistakes you made in the past. So that's just my kind of slight character analysis of Buck Cluck, but we'll get back to him later on for sure because a lot of people really hate this man. So I'll come back around for a more detailed character analysis later on in this episode. For now, we are hit with a montage of Chicken Little practicing baseball with his friends. Again, his friends are there for him, super supportive, and it's really awesome to see that he has a little clique. A little like the weird ones, the silly ones. I can definitely relate. I definitely was the weird kid in any school setting that I was in. I'm still the weird person, with a positive connotation, in any group that I'm in, because I'm very silly and I'm very out there personally. And Chicken Little isn't weird in that kind of same way. He's just weird because his body proportion is abnormal to other people. So, ableism! Oh no! So, that's just the way it is, unfortunately. That is the society we live in. In any case, Chicken learns to play baseball, tries to get better at it, and eventually he joins the team, and the coach reluctantly lets him join. However, he is benched for the majority of the season of the baseball. I'm not super familiar with baseball terminology. I'm not much of a sports person, so I don't know if season is the right thing to say. Uh, but basically, Chicken Little's team got into the finals, right? Their team versus this other really good middle school team. So the players are, like ringed out one by one, and Chicken Little was the last to bat. So I believe since that's the first time him batting in the season, he's trying to, amp himself up and trying to do it well, hit the ball and so forth. Um, his instructor even tells him to just get a ball play, um, which basically means you don't swing. And if how do I want to explain this? I'm not a big baseball guy. Hold on. All right, let's just make this simpler. Basically, Chicken Little's instructor is telling Chicken Little to play the game in a lame way so they could get closer to winning. But Chicken Little wants to participate actively and play the game the way it was meant to be played. So he swings. He gets striked twice, and on the third pitch, Chicken Little actually hits really good. He hits the ball high into the air. So he starts running, initially in the wrong way, but then he starts going the right way, and everybody's cheering him on. His friends, the crowd, the announcer that didn't believe in him, everybody, even the town fucking mayor is here, and like he's just kind of um just following whatever his agents are telling him. Like on on what do you call these, on these poster boards that like they wrote out words on. I don't know if poster, but you know what I mean. So just the words of the thing. What? In any case, Chicken Little is running around the diamonds, the baseball diamonds, the plates, whatever they're called, and he tries to make his way to home base for a home run. That would be the point that his team needs to win. After what seems like he got out, it was actually confirmed by the umpire. I think it's called. The guy who catches the balls, whatever that guy is. He declares Chicken Little as safe with his little chicken feet touching the fucking diamond. I hate saying that. I really hate saying that. Why did I say it like that? Oh no! Ow! That cringe aside, Chicken Little won for his team, and he is celebrated. It's even on the news. So finally, public, positive publicity for this fucking middle schooler. It's just so funny to think that the world, both in universe and in our real life world that you're breathing in right now, uh, hates this fucking middle schooler. It's not like he's Eric Carmen. He's not like he like is a borderline horrible guy. I didn't know what to say about this, but you get the idea. It's not like he did any like atrocities to humanity. That's what I was trying to think of. It's just a silly little guy with a silly little adventure. Oh, why you people hate him? He didn't do anything wrong. So Chicken Little and Cuck Bluck, huh? Excuse me. Chicken Little and his dad celebrate their victory. They go home. They fool around a little bit, a little cute wholesome moment, and they try to talk a little bit. They have a little personal moment. And so they had a good time, just hang out with each other for a little moment. His father goes downstairs, and Chicken Little goes to thank the stars, for giving him a chance and for him proving himself to be capable, which I honestly love that moment. It's very real. Um, I definitely had days where I feel like I am not good enough or I am not doing anything right. But then when things do go right, whether it's people being there for me or I do things, whatever it is productive, I feel kind of thankful. And I also end up looking up at the stars myself. So I relate to that. I know that feeling of, man, shit don't work good. But sometimes when it do, I feel content. And hey, just to be a little personal here, I was honestly feeling kind of like that last night from when I was recording this. I was kind of feeling down on my luck and with anxiety, with personal life things, and someone close to me was there to comfort me and help me feel okay. That's unfortunately a struggle I have to deal with from time to time. I'm sure everybody has to deal with that to some extent, and I'm just very fortunate to have people in my life there for me to be able to help me. And I just really relate to that kind of sentiment a lot. So yeah, that's very nice. So this nice tender moment ends. Well, not ends, but kind of gets interrupted by a piece of the sky or something of it falling onto Chicken Little. Fuck. So, Chicken Little is freaking out reasonably, and he calls his friends to come over, and they see it, and they're like, "Oh shit, this must have been the thing you saw before." So, Abby tells Chicken Little, "Hey, you should go tell uh, your father about this because this is important." Even though Chicken Little kind of had like a closure moment with, "All right, this silly shenazery about the sky and whatever else is over." Woo. So, Chicken Little's kind of like, I don't want to do that. I just want to enjoy the moment. And this shit happens to me. And then we have Runt in the background just talking about pee. Pee, pee, pee. Let's ignore him. He's not important right now. Then Fish out of water, or just Fish for short. Let's just call him Fish. He got curious with the device, kind of thing, and presses a button in the back. It starts to levitate. Then he gets kind of sucked up into the sky. Yeah. Oh. Reasonably after, Chicken Little and company freak the fuck out and they want to run after him. So, Fish had this glow stick on him and it's like sticking out, uh, and like the sky where he got sucked into. So, Chicken Little, Abby, and Runt decide to go and follow him. At least the glow stick that's just kind of floating in the air. And so, for a second, Chicken Little confronts his father, and Abby tries to push them to talk. Chicken Little is super evasive about it, and they just kind of leave the house running after a moment. So, Chicken Little, Runt, and Abby are following Fish's glow stick in the air, and they end up in the baseball field actually. And before they know it, a big swirling clouds and wind and all this kind of they're in the eye of a tornado. It's like really strong. It starts happening. It's crazy. Shit's going wild. Buck wild. In any case, so a UFO uh, reveals itself and lands. And the three decide to investigate to try to find fish. Along with their interesting investigations through the UFO, Runt is having a panic attack. Yeah, I mean, I would too if I was confronted with crazy ass alien technology. Just, wow, man. I think aliens are cool and awesome, but also you would also maybe possibly reasonably be freaked out if some other unknown to you life form appeared before you, whether it's an animal you never heard or seen of before or anything extraterrestrial. So reasonably so, Runt is absolutely not having it. He is like breathing in and out of a paper bag and then two at some point. um so as the gang go along, they see a few mythical, magical things. Nothing too crazy, but it's still very otherworldly, very strange. There's this orange thing that looks like a wisp from Sonic Colors, like the orange guy, as my partner put it while we were watching the movie. What a fucking nerd, am I right? So, in any case, it appears that this orange thing is alive and has three eyes. That freaks out the group, so they just run along, panicked, continue to try to find fish, but this orange little baby creature, I don't think they were ever given a name, so let's just call them Orange, just for the sake of simplicity. So, Orange hops out of like the hover incubation, I guess is a way to put it, and they start to follow around Chicken Little and company. So eventually they find fish, and he's perfectly fine. And so they decided, let's get the fuck out of here. I don't do it no more, man. I want to go home. So they do that. They get out of there. However, two other aliens in mech suits, I guess is a way to put it. So like they're kind of egg shaped and they have like wire tentacles. So you know, average alien day. How do you do? They decided, oh, well, the orange thing is out of here. They probably took the specimen. So they decided to go after Chicken Little and Company once they found out that they were there and that they are trying to escape. Oh, and I forgot to mention too, uh, Chicken Little and Company ran across this map of different worlds that these aliens have conquered. No, no big deal. And Earth is kind of circled. There's arrows to it, and yeah, that's not a good sign. So even more reason to be afraid of these otherworldly beings because they clearly want to kill us all. So, well, yeah. So Chicken Little and Company get out of the ship, and they start to get chased by the two mech aliens that make crop circles and try to cut their heads off. The kind of casual thing. However, Orange is also following Chicken Little and Company as well, far behind, but still, roughly keeping up. Keeping their distance so they don't freak out Chicken Little, but all the same is still extremely curious about him and his world. Fair enough, I mean, I would too if I ended up in some other world out of nowhere without me really knowing. So, in any case, after escaping for the most part, Chicken Little and friends. I don't want to say in company again. I've said so much. I'm sorry. So, Chicken Little and Abby and Rant and Fish, they decided to warn the town and be like, hey, there is an active alien sighting, possible invasion. Let's fix this shit. So, Chicken Little had to muster up the anxiety and courage to ring the town bell again because, to reiterate, a year ago he did the same for sky falling shenanigans, the whole thing, blah blah blue. So after a little while of debating should I or should I not, he decides he has to for the greater good of fur manatee, I guess feather manatee. I don't know, for the people of society, the society that hates him. Wow, he should just let them all die. Anyway, genocidal tendencies aside, he decides to ring the bell and warn the town. And the majority of the town, if not everybody, for the most part, come out and is very curious about what's going on. Although the ringing of the bell hurts the aliens' sensors. I was gonna say ears, but we don't know if they have ears, so let's just say sensors. Yeah, that works. Sure, why not? So they retreat back to the ship, and Chicken Little and friends notice that, so they're trying to rush the whole town to come and see at least the UFO to at least know that it's not a sham. All right, it never was a sham. All that good stuff. And the town mostly follows along and mostly is like, all right, let's go. Fuck it, why not? And they almost, barely almost saw the ship. But unfortunately, a camouflage and or took off. Only mere seconds before anyone else, besides Chicken Little and his friend group, saw it, levitate and zip out. So listen, this town loves coins. I know this is coming out of nowhere, but literally the reason that they didn't see the UFO is because I think there was a penny on the ground, and the mayor pointed out that everybody just stopped for like 5 to 10 seconds, just looking at the penny, but like, oh yeah, oh a penny, oh. So thanks, guys. Very cool. Clearly, we have only the highest IQ of personnel in office. So yeah. And anyways, um, after all that, Buck Cluck comes in and unfortunately calls off everything again. The town being even more disappointed at Chicken Little and company as well. I did it again. God damn it. You know what I mean. Chicken Little and Co. Ugh. More than before. Mostly Chicken Little though, because clearly it's all his fault. So it's just so hard to see that his own father really does not believe in Chicken Little. It's just hard. It's just really rough, and it really makes you feel bad for Chicken Little and mad at Buck Cluck, but I still think there is redemption in the character, and I'll talk about that soon. Chicken Little goes home defeated, understandably so, with Orange still following behind him without anybody noticing Orange yet. And so I'm not exactly sure about this like small part here between this and the next big parts of the movie. I can't remember everything, and I'm notoriously bad with memory in general with anything in life. So apologies for not the most astute and spectacular retelling of Chicken Little. So basically, Chicken Little sad, and then discovers Orange exists, gets freaked out. Then the two start to get comfortable with each other. Chicken Little calls his friends over, and they're all like, "Okay, well, we have this orange fella that we saw, so what now?" And then, before long, the real alien invasion happens. Multiple UFOs coming down. Just things going haywire across the town. And, well, Chicken Little pieced together that this little orange fella is probably the baby of the aliens and that this is an escort mission. So, Chicken Little starts to run off with his companions and Orange, of course, and to try to figure out what to do next. So, somewhere along the line of that, Buck, sees Chicken Little and such running off and reaches out to him and says, "What is going on? Like, do you see what's going on? We gotta stay home. We gotta, take care. You were right. I'm sorry." And Chicken Little just says, "No, you do not believe in me. I know what I need to do. I understand what's going on. Just, if you're not going to be with me, then just get out of here." He pretty much tells his dad off. Fairly so. I mean, he has a total right to do so since his father never really was there for him up to this point, uh, unless he succeeded in a very specific and socially normal way. So, of course, that hurts Buck's feelings, but he really deserved it. And the group is off to try to figure out what's next. And so we got this awesome music from REM. I don't remember the name of the song, but basically the lyrics is it's the end of the world as we know it. I think that's probably the name of the song or something very close to it. Uh, a stupid thought I had recently is that REM is pretty much what Crush 40 is for Sonic the Hedgehog. There is another REM song early on in the movie, and it plays when Chicken Little is trying to get his way to school early on. And that song lives rent free in my mind. I think about it very often, and it's just a really good song, and it really fits. So I'm not. I'm not sure. I most likely not. These songs probably were not made for the movie, but it really fits with the tone and feel. There's other licensed music as well in the movie. It's one of those kind of films, but it plays into the charm and humor as well. So I'm not like disturbed or like bothered by it. It's just part of the spunky mid 2000s animated movie feel, but it's still fun. I can understand why people don't like that as well, but I don't know. It's not horrible. It's not like with the Super Mario Brothers movie where they added licensed music when there was literal like original music composed for some scenes of the movie that are way better, and then they decided probably last minute, oh, let's just throw in a licensed song. Rah. It's just like, come on, man, really? This is different. These scenes are definitely made with these licensed music in mind, and in that case, it adds a specific spunky charm that I feel like a lot of movies that have licensed music don't have. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a bunch of movies that have licensed music that really plays into the feel and themes and vibe of what the movie's trying to go for. I'm not a cinephile. Meh. While Chicken Little and others are avoiding, you know, getting what seems to be vaporized and, just otherworldly destruction happening around them, Buck actually talks to Chicken Little. They end up standing in a traditional theater. I don't know how this happened. Again, specifics are hard for me to come to, so apologies again. In any case, they started talking, and Abby pushes the two to have closure and just talk things through once more. And they decided, okay, let's do it. And so Chicken Little basically says, "You were never there for me when I needed somebody to support me," and that really sucked. And Buck really started to understood the best he could understand that, hey, I've been failing as a father figure. I've been failing as a parent, and I need to help you, especially now because it's probably the end of the world, and I should be there for my son. So he decided from that point on to be supportive of Chicken Little's ideas, plans, anything really. And basically, from that point on, in the entirety of the movie, he's there for Chicken Little. He supports him. He is there to, to continue being positive and supportive. He even says so himself in a few scenes. And ultimately, I think that's what makes him an interesting character. He was a well meaning but failure of a parent for the majority of the runtime of this movie, but then he was confronted with his actions and how that made other people, especially his son, feel. And so, after that point, he decided, I want to be better, which doesn't automatically make him a great parent, but it shows that he has the compassion and wants to be a good parent. And I'd say he's fairly okay. But at the end, I think his happy ending and him enjoying his company with his son is deserved. If there was a sequel, I would love to see more of him being supportive and such, but that will never happen because nobody on this fucking planet cares about this movie as much as me. At least that's how it feels like. I'm sure there were other Chicken Little stands or fans in general, but it really feels like we're unnumbered here. Okay, so so with Chicken Little's friends and his father and Orange united, they decided to go on and reach the peak, the top of the town, so Chicken Little could show off Orange to the mothership. And so that's what they do. They climb their way up and they bombard their way through the different alien machinery, what have you. And while licensed music is blasting and Runt is singing along really badly, but humorously, it's humorously bad. It's very charming, like I said before. Um, and so um, Buck helps Chicken Little climb up a bunch of flight of stairs, and well, rather he's also there along the ride, but he's being verbally supportive, and that is pretty good. That's what he should be doing, and I'm glad to see that. You know, and when Chicken Little gets on top of I think the Capitol or some other tall building where the mothership is hovering over, Buck decides to help protect his son and even fight. He's surprisingly a good fighter and helps, fend off against the aliens that are trying to attack Chicken Little or something of the sort. So Chicken Little raises up Orange like his ass is Simba, and they decided to, blast the three of them into the mothership. So the aliens are talking to Chicken Little and Buck, and they basically explain, "Hey, this is a misunderstanding. I assume that is your child or one of your children of your species. They somehow ended up roaming out of your ship, and we didn't mean to take them. We're not children kidnappers, all right? That's not our business. So there you go. There's your child. Let us go, please." And after some convincing with this alien's wife, of all people, or all things, or beings, is a better way to put it, they decided, okay, apologies. Let's just put everything back the way it was, except Foxy Loxy. They literally made her mentally scrambled, and she has a different personality, very bubbly instead of very rough and rowdy and rude. And they decided, let's just keep her like that. So the moral of the story is giving permanent brain damage to people that are rude in middle school is obviously necessary for a better society. So thanks, Chicken Little. Very cool. After the aliens put everything back the way it was and such and so forth, they zipped off, and there was a new Chicken Little movie adaptation that the gang and basically the rest of the town watches when it comes out. And it was a super silly, I guess Star Trekified, as a way to put it, way of Chicken Little, like retelling the story in a not accurate at all way. It's like a stargazing, ship blasting adventure, but who cares? Chicken Little has his happy ending and is enjoying his company with his friends, especially Abby, and that's it. The end credits is just the gang dancing and enjoying each other's company, and that's the end. So it's like I said, it's a very fun and silly and zany adventure, and it has a lot of heart to it. It has a lot of personality and charm. And throughout the whole movie, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I was just laughing. I was just having a great time. Again, there's some unintentional funny stuff, but when it was trying to be intentionally funny, basically it almost always made me laugh. There was only a few times where I was just like, that's a fine joke. It's fine, but obviously no piece of media is going to make everybody laugh at every joke. That's okay. But in terms of a comedy movie, it hits the mark square for me. It was really good. When I had the feels going on, I felt for the characters, and I was like, oh, I understand how they felt, and I wish things were better, or so on and so forth. So, for everything that this movie was trying to do, I thought it did very, very well, and I thought it did extremely delightfully. And to get back to the Buck Cluck conversation, um, I going into this movie, I got brainwashed by the internet by years and years of hate for this man, and I thought he was just a piece of shit father. Even though I watched this movie a lot when I was little, I got my thoughts and memories of him kind of got smeared. And I was just like, yeah, he's probably just garbage, but no. Yeah, like I said, bad parent for the majority of the runtime, but he wanted to be better, and he's trying to be better. And it's not like he's automatically redeemed or anything, That's not how life works. But when someone in your life wants to be better and you want to give them a chance, you just kind of have to accept the fact that they might have done things that hurt you, whether they meant to or not, in the past. And now that they want to be better, you kind of have to choose, do you want them around still, or do you want them to be alone? That's also a personal struggle I've had too in my life as well. So they kind of see that to a lesser extent, but still there, also speaks to me volumes. And, you know, I think he's a good guy. Just mishandled what he should have done as a parent, but, nobody's perfect. So, yeah, that's right. I'm a butt cluck defender now. All right. He is a guy who fucked ass. Wait, what? No, 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 no. Hold on. He was a guy who sucked at being a father, but then became a great dad or learning to be a good dad after trial and error. That is kind of what parenthood is about, and I can respect that. And I think he is an okay buck, all right, an okay chicken guy. Other than that, the original score for the movie, it was pretty okay. It was pretty good. I'm not crazy with music that is just purely designed for scenes of media. I really appreciate music when it's great even without the context of the scene. Obviously, that is unrealistic to kind of ask for in most movies, but the original score for settings and music and tinglings in your ears, it works, and it's pretty good. So also good props to that. Um, Overall, I think it's a solid movie, and I recommend it to people who like fun, silly family movies. Even though I pretty much just spoiled the whole plot for you, but you can still enjoy it. There's still a funny in there. Just maybe wait a couple of years. To end off this episode, I'm going to tell you some stupid miscellaneous thing that I just been thinking about this entire time while recording this. So when I was little, I watched this movie a lot, and I watched it with my grandma. My grandma also really likes this movie as well, and so she didn't remember the name of Runt, so she just called him Chicken Little Pig. So every time I think about the movie, all I can think about is just a picture of Runt, like a render of Runt, and then the text under him that says Chicken Little Pig. So from now on, can we all in the Chicken Little community, if that exists, just call Runt Chicken Little Pig? Please and thank you. It's just so stupid. It's a dumbass name, but I love it so much. And yeah, that's pretty much all the thoughts I have for Chicken Little. I enjoy, I like, and we gave him a chance, so you should give him a chance too. Hee hee. All right, that's enough of rambling for one time. Thank you very very much for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Links in description if you care about that kind of shiznaz. I'm gonna go eat some healthy lunch now. I'm gonna fill my tummy tum with fucking spinach. All right, I am a healthy eater, and I recommend it. If you can try to eat a little healthier in your life, why not go for it? It's good for you. So I don't know why I'm on the healthy eating agenda right now, but I don't know. I just like to see people happy, and a good way to be happy with yourself is eating healthy. So, you know what? Go out there and eat chicken. All right. Bye bye.